Good morning, everybody. My name is Pastor Norman Lee. Everybody say, good morning, Pastor Norman Lee. I love you, too. I want you to put your hands together if you got a lot to be thankful for. Many of you have moved down here to sunny Florida to retire. Say amen. Amen. You left the big, bad old North. And the old way of living. The cold weather, the shoveling of the snow, your old job, your old house, your old friends. You came down here to Retirement USA. Yeah! Amen. You came down for a new lifestyle, a new house. And you got a new house, you got to put new furniture in it. You got a new car, you got a new golf cart, new doctors, the checkups, you start exercising. Things are looking great, the old gone. You can't even remember what it was like up there. And that's great, that's wonderful, that's spectacular. Give yourselves a round of applause, come on! In the first 60 years of your life, you had a job. Probably you worked at 30 years in a row or whatever. You had kids you had to raise and grandkids. Although you were doing everything okay, everything was good, your relationship might have been strained with you and God. Maybe I didn't have as much time for him as I should have. So you got down here, and now you got all the time in the world. And let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, you can only drink so many margaritas. You can only dance and listen to music, and I love all those things. But sooner or later, you're watching all your friends, or you're calling your friends, and they're not there anymore because they've gone home. So the reality of your mortality has set in.
Turn to the back and hit backwards. Click back to the front. And then click on top. Side to side. And switch. Crisscross. And then we're going to boogie again. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Man. Okay. Yeah. No more. All right, we're going to do Let's Get Loud. Starts out beating on top of the drum. Every time it says let's get loud, you're going to go right, left, cha-cha-cha. Left, right, cha-cha-cha. Right, left.
When we grew up, a retirement home, it was a place where you went to go and die. This place will add 10 years to your life. In all of the other places I've lived, I've never been as active as I am here. And the beauty of it is you can be as active or inactive as you like. And I told Roger, maybe I'll get tired of that in a year or 5 years or 10 years, I don't know. But I don't care, because right now I'm having a ball.
Here's our post office. We each have a box with a key. I'd always been around younger people. I didn't know if I was going to like being around old people, old people. And now we've gotten used to it. We don't even think about them as being old people.
Yeah. No, age has nothing.
They're just people. They've just been around longer. Pretty day. It's going to be a pretty day.
All right, now we're gonna do the big open. Shift the weight back toward the curtain, turn the core, hand comes back up, the thumb is now down. You've got that nice gentle wheel in your shape of your arm. The elbow's lower, the wrist is the same height as the shoulder. All right, now I'm looking at the center, and I see this hand is maybe twice as far away from the center as that hand.
Okay.
You don't want that. You want to try to keep them that same distance away, so that when you look down at your center line, you see those hands as being in the same spot as they were when you were in the front.
Is this supposed to be easy? I don't think so.
What you want to do is you want to keep that same 10 inches with respect to the center of your body. So now if I look at the center of your body right now, it's about here.
I was here during that time period that the Villages grew, and that was in 1980. The Villages was on one side of U.S. Highway 441, which bisects the community, and they were just a little old trailer park. The founder and his father, Harold Schwartz, was a fellow who owned the Orange Blossom Gardens trailer park on the other side of the road. His son, Gary Morse, came down and helped him, and boom, here comes the Villages. Technically, they're not a town, they're a development district, and they're run by this board of directors that continues to be controlled by the family that built the place. This is a family business, and the family is still there. And what they sell is a lifestyle that people who have lived their whole life in cold areas of the country, they very desperately want a little bit of fun. And that's what the Villages offers.
I'm as busy or busier now than I was when I was working, believe it or not. I mean, I've got stuff going on almost every day this month. And I think the active lifestyle helps keep you young. I mean, this is not a community where you go sit on a front porch in a rocking chair. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, you talk to any of our neighbors. I mean, you see them out and about and going places, and I mean, nobody stays at home. They're out and about doing stuff, and I mean that's healthy. Like myself, how many 80-year-olds do 30 miles on a bike?
And is this your plan to stay here until you die?
I don't know why I'd go anywhere else. Well, when we first came here, the only town square was Spanish Springs. That was the original town square. Sumter Landing, they had just started to build it. A few years ago, they added Brownwood when they got extended down to like Route 44. Now they're down even south of that and talking about a fourth town square. All the new construction is moving south. They just keep buying hunks of land and adding more and more. We keep joking about we're going to have villages in Naples, Florida before long.
This used to be a car dealership. Back in the 40s, it was a Chrysler dealership. And then it's been a grocery store, gas station, furniture store, laundromat. Then we bought it in 1970, my husband and I did. And we started out like this. And it's grown, it's been a good living, and it's all been family working here. Since the villages have come here, it's changed a lot. We don't have any land anymore, one thing, but we have all retired people. They all spend money. They eat out. Most of them don't want to cook, so your restaurants are really doing well. The bars are doing really good because it seems like all of them drink, and they spend money and they go back to their hobbies that they had when they were young, and then they had to stop because they had a family, and now they're back in. Those that are 70 think they're 40, so it's a good life for them as well. But it's changed a lot, but it's all been for the good too. So I like it. I mean, 75% of my business is the village people, and I do I cater to them.
Did your family used to own land?
Yes, we did. Actually, my cousin sold 4,000 acres, and he was the last to sell. It became more profitable planting Yankees than it did growing watermelons and things like that here. So, but it's a sign of the times.
good folks that can help you. Give them a call, 753-6700.
Everything you need for your Florida landscaping is at KV Landscape Supply. Spring is here. Come celebrate with some of the lowest prices in the area. Buy 5 1-gallon plants and get 1 free. All pottery, buy 1, get 1 at 50% off. Mention this radio ad and enjoy 10% off your purchase.
There's a gold mine at the new Golden Art Jewelers. Oh, literally? Okay, so we went a little overboard at our new location. An artist transformed our coffee lounge into a realistic mine shaft.
We know we're in a bubble, but it's a nice bubble. It's a wonderful thing, you know. You go into, say, the supermarket or a nightclub or a golf course, and everybody's our age, so we don't think age. Once you go out of the villages, there's all these young people, and all of a sudden you feel old, and they're looking at you like you're old. But once you get back into the villages, there is no age, because we're all the same.
All right, it's time to bring back, my favorite gal, Tony. How are you, Tony?
I'm going to apologize for this song now. This is for you and you. I want a little sugar in my bowl. I want a little sweetness down in my soul. I couldn't stand some loving so bad. I feel so funny. I feel so sad. Oh, I want a little steam on my clothes. Maybe I can fix things so they'll go. What's the matter, Daddy? Come on, save my soul. I want some sugar in my bowl, and I ain't kidding. I want some in my bowl, and I mean it. I want some sugar.
FM 102.7 and AM 640 WBLG Wildwood. It's 12 midnight. Congress steps up the pressure on the Attorney General. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News.
Trying it out this weekend on The Voice of the Villages, a great Villages weekend. And of course, taking your request to 750-9854. This is my station. They got it going on.
the villages just bought 18,000 acres. 18,000, and it includes that property across the street from me. So it's tough. We all thought that the villages were going to stay north, far north. I was naive. Other people were naive, and they started marching south and west. And I seen that this was going to affect me. You know, it's up there. If it don't affect you, not my backyard type of thing. I knew it was going to affect me, so I had to get involved. So I started putting out one little sign, and then they started taking my little signs. And I said, that's it. I got to find pieces of property that people allow me to put it on their property. And I bowed it down. I put fake cameras on it. So, but yeah, and I will show you. They've already bought this property, but they haven't developed it as far as I know. But it's going to come in this 18,000 acres, and this is the Florida Turnpike. She didn't sell her property. That little white mark in there. And they don't care. If they can't get it, they just build around you. So, sad. This tree right here is probably 150, 200 years old. It went out into the pasture, so I can't stand to lose a tree. I was in the tree nursery business for 20 years, so I save every tree I possibly can. Right there's the root ball. It's turned sideways, and it's got 20 yards of dirt in there to compact it back, and now the tree is doing great. We got new leaf, new branches. And you can see here's where I made a wall to hold the dirt in and build it up so that tree would live. All the trees, the cypress here, I planted probably 10 years ago, and look how beautiful they are. They were just sticks. But that's a native Florida plant. It's a ball cypress. And I got a native sweet gum over there that I planted. So I try to plant all native stuff out in the pasture. Of course, I messed up with some bamboo over there. We have a neighbor over here that has 80 acres. My neighbor next door has 20, and most people have 10 to 20 acres, and they like this lifestyle. They like it in the woods, the same as I. I don't think they would sell. Could be wrong. Hopefully, they hang in here too.
I just think the tunnels are brilliant. I can't imagine how the planners figured all this out.
Happy whatever day this is.
This is what life is supposed
Yep.
to be. I wish your mom could have been this happy.
I know. And I think about, and I wish she could have seen us here. 'Cause I think that would have made her happy too.
Yeah. Retirement does different things to different people. All right, and especially if you're in upper management. And it's not a thing that's unique to men. There are just more men who've been in that position who all of a sudden, they're not the leader in the room. They're not the alpha dog. They're not the smartest person. They're not getting the validation from the people who are trying to learn from them. They're not teaching anymore, if you will. Yeah, that's good.
No,
That's good.
I don't want to move it.
Yeah. There.
Well, at first I didn't know what to do. I was bored, and so that caused me to be probably much more trying to take control of things that I didn't need to take control of. So I was stepping over other people's bounds, if you will, to get in the way of what they were trying to accomplish. So I was looking for anything. So I would grab this from somebody and I'd grab that from somebody else. So that was the biggest problem, I think, and so I became aggressive, or whatever that right word is. But there was some probably bad days in that time. So.
But you recognized it. That's the good news.
And I work on it.
Oh, joy.
Boy, my load's too heavy. I don't know if I can do it all.
Well, I wanted to leave the heavy stuff for you.
The social aspect is important here. I think it's an important part of living here. I mean, I've moved 18 times. Most of them were career moves for moving to a different company or promotion, stuff like that. And if I go back to Cincinnati, I was born and raised in Cincinnati. My grade school is gone. My high school is gone. The store where I used to work is gone. There are no people living in the community where I lived in. Nobody that lived there when I was there is there anymore. I mean, it's like there's nothing there for me. So you end up having to establish new acquaintances and relationships where you are. And at least here in the villages, since people aren't being jerked around career-wise, everybody's here is here, so they don't go anywhere. So when you make friends here, it's pretty much for the long haul. The village has a sort of an unearned reputation of being where the money is, and that's just really not true. It's maybe a little bit higher than average, because, I mean, let's face it, what are the statistics financially? 80% of the personal wealth in this country, and probably most other countries, is held by people 65 and older. We pay about $150 a month. And they use that money to maintain the roads, to keep it looking nice, maintaining all the golf courses and the facilities and everything. So basically that's what you're paying for, is all of that infrastructure support. I mean, just imagine how much grass there is to cut here on these golf courses, and they cut them every day. So it takes a fair amount to keep it looking the way it looks.
I don't know why we have screens. There are no bugs. There are no bugs. They must spray at night when we go to bed. I think they go around and they spray. I mean, Mosquitoes? There are no mosquitoes. What's a mosquito? You know those big black bugs that, you know, I don't know what they're called, but up north they call them cockroaches. I don't know, they have another name for them here. But you never see these things. Whatever they use or do, it works.
Can you explain a little bit about, you know, the difference between privately owned and public? Because there seem to be gates everywhere. Can you talk to me about gates?
These are all public roads. By law, they cannot keep you from driving through the villages. But for some reason, the villages has gotten away with putting gates up there. I have no idea why. They can't, it'd be like putting a gate on US Highway 441 and just going, okay, stop the traffic. We need to just see who you are. That's all those gates are there for. They can't stop you by law. And when they do, they shouldn't be.
Some of it I don't mind, but some of it's public land. And when you have to push a button to go on a road that really the state's paying for, it kind of irks you there. But, you know, you push it and you go on in. Before, we didn't even know we could do that. We thought we were blocked out completely. Then we learned about the button, and now, of course, everybody does it. But that's supposed to be their gated community. But it is a public land, so it's maintained by the county or the state. So you wonder, how can you do that? But they do it.
At the beginning, for me, it was very difficult because I had just come out of a bad surgery, which has left the left side of my face paralyzed. And John knew that I had been wanting to take belly dance lessons for years and years. And the first year we came down here, he talked me into going to the square because I very rarely left the house, and the belly dancers were performing. So when we got back home, he found the lessons and said, "You're going to go?" And I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Yes, you are." So he took me to class. And I stood in the back. Nobody paid any attention to me. And I started dancing from there. I have all different colored hip scarves to go with any outfit that I would pick. I even have some multicolored ones. These, when you get to be our age, you kind of have a problem. So I make armlets to match each one of my outfits. They'd come up like this. See, so I've got this material, and I'm getting ready to make the armlets to match that. I haven't worn that for a while because of that. In fact, it's probably been 4 years. Hopefully, I can still get in it. So your shoulder shimmy and step back, and step forward, and then reverse your hand, and then you lift your hip, and then you start over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're gonna step with your left foot and then drag your right foot in front of it. Step with the left foot, drag your right foot in front of it, and then come to stand straight. All right. Everybody ready? Uh-oh, wait a minute. Wardrobe malfunction. Life down here is different. And basically, I think it's because you don't have your family around. You don't have to put on a facade for them. Down here, you can be what you want to be, who you want to be. You can relax and enjoy life. And I'm not putting a family down by any means. It's just that when you're the matriarch or the patriarch of the family, you're meant to be a different type of person, which is ridiculous, but that's the way it is.
Straight out. And hold. And angel. And flower. And flush.
You know what? Your dream home could be waiting for you to discover today. There's an open house at 5430 Zajac Avenue. A brand new one-bedroom, one-bath, Nantucket patio villa priced at just $177,857. Or you can let Properties of the Village show you around. Give them a call, 753-700, the number, or just go online.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Spanish Springs Town Square for tonight's entertainment. Before we begin the fun, we do need to go over some rules and regulations of the square to keep everyone safe.
The community development districts are just another form of government. In fact, we often call them a shadow government. And we began covering, I say we, the Orlando Sentinel and its reporters, began covering them like we'd cover any municipality. And that really set things off. And they went out and bought a newspaper press. And they now have a big newspaper that never writes anything critical about them. Most people are kind of brainwashed. You know, I think a lot of them are older folks who have been through all kind of trouble with, you know, their kids, their grandkids, so many things going on in the United States today. And I think the Villages offers that escapism that it's hard to get if you're living in Gary, Indiana, in 42 inches of grimy snow.
You want the big glass full?
Yes.
Look at this for Larry. It turned out to be a good day.
It's gorgeous. You'd have never thought about it from this morning.
Nope, exactly. Howdy, howdy.
Hi, Diane.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy,
Howdy, howdy. Howdy, howdy. How you doing? There's yours.
Oh, thank you.
What is it?
It's rum punch.
Keep your straw. From what? We're just passing this around. This is
To do what?
this is for giggles.
To get you high.
Ooh,
Is this an
very good.
Now, what am I tasting, maybe?
This is Roger's Rum Punch.
That is awesome. What?
Oh, did you see him spit it back in there? Hey! He wanted the whole thing.
So how about missing your families? Do you miss your families at all?
No.
No. Our daughter, is 2 hours away, which we think is the perfect distance. We don't get those calls that say, can you come babysit tonight? But she has to plan it in advance. I think a lot of children think that when their parents get older, that they're basically sitting around waiting for that phone call. We have to fit them in because there's so much going on in our lives. If you're living close by, I think you just start to neglect. Not on purpose, but I think if we were there all the time, they wouldn't be sad to see us leave. I like that sadness. I'm pretty fond of it.
I'll be glad when this testing here is done all over with. And I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, maybe when we get home, you go to the doctor.
Yep.
He'll cut some of that down. Hey, babe. Are you going to want something to eat, too? Okay. John, you going to take a jacket?
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
You decide?
No, I can hardly see it from this distance.
Do you want my glasses?
No, glasses aren't going to help. I've got my own.
Okay.
Oh, my. I think I'll have a chili dog. What's that one right there with a drink? Ooh, lovely. We've worked very hard to build up a retirement so we didn't have to depend on our children. I would hate to have my children have to give up their freedom for me. I think they kind of like the idea of us coming down here. They don't, in the back of their minds, they don't have that responsibility back here. They'd probably never admit it and probably don't even realize it. The retirement communities are picking up where the families are leaving off. Is exactly what it amounts to. And depending on how much money you have, depends on where you're going to be.
When you talk to people in the villages and you talk to them about the developer, they talk about them as if they are these almost like charity that is trying to do the best for the retirees.
Right. They've got the retirees at heart. That's a common theme up there. They think of every little thing and they make it work. That's why they're so successful. Because there's that level of detail, there's that level of care that goes into this community, and that's what makes it so popular with all these older folks who come down from up north. This is a community that's, I don't know what percentage of white people it has, but there aren't people of any substantial number of people of color there, or minorities of any kind. These are folks who have, a very clear idea of society and what it should be, where their place is in it, and it matches perfectly with what the developers provide them.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America. Well, welcome to our monthly meeting at Eisenhower. Well, this month is the NRA annual meeting. Jim and Terry are going, so we can wish them a safe journey.
I got this one because it was nice to have that grip when you're shooting, okay? I like, that grip I like rather than that, for example. What's nice about it is it turns into a bipod.
Hi there.
Hi. Who are you with?
What do you mean, who are you with?
What company are you with?
We're an international documentary film team.
Did you contact Gary Lester?
No?
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't. We need to contact them before we film. I can give you his name and number.
We contacted all 3 counties and all three sheriff's office, and they all told us we can film around on the square because it's public property, so that's no problem at all.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just call him then.
Yeah, you can.
All right. Gary Lester's office.
Yeah?
And just wanted to speak to you.
Hi, Valerie speaking. I'm on what property?
What makes the villages involves control. They want to control everything. And I think it's just bad. Anytime people are isolated but have to live together in some proximity, it's not gonna go well if you're completely isolated. If you've got your own TV station, your own newspaper, they've got their own schools up there that a lot of the people who work there, their kids go to. I mean, they think that it's better. Well, it may be better, but it's certainly not better for the community at large. This is really a weird social experiment. I mean, 150,000 old people in one spot. And I think they underestimate what they cost communities that are already here.
Well, it's been a long time. Villagers come in and took over practically everything, but this they couldn't move, so we were glad of that. We have the right of way, and they couldn't take it away from us because we had to get to the graveyard some kind of way. So they decided to put a gate up here and a fence. As a matter of fact, the village has bought so much land for so long that we don't even know when they're going to stop. They're still building and everything, so I really don't know. Yeah. When I went to the county with some of my land and stuff, trying to get things straightened out and all that, so I can't build anything else on my land for the piece I have up there. And I asked them why. I said, because the villages, they build things, you know, see how they got it all close together right now and stuff? We can't do that. I have almost an acre, but I can't put nothing else on there but that single wide trailer that I have. And the guy said, well, I tell you what, the villages have their own rules and regulations. That's because they got money. And the county loves money, so the county will do anything. We got the Rambo family, which is over there, and the Elliott family, which is here. We got the Brookses, and we got the Ramblos and the Glovers. This is my granddaddy, and this is my grandmother, which we Guess we need to do those names over.
Did you see the water bill? So it was, without the assessment, it was like $100. Is that normal?
Yeah.
Is it because it fills from evaporation? I mean,
Yeah. So it's constantly refilling the pool.
So we had 8,000 gallons of irrigation and 4,000 gallons of fresh water.
Well, it runs every week, and it runs for 2 hours at night.
The irrigation?
Yeah.
Isn't that overkill?
That's what they say.
How are we pouring through 8,000 gallons of gray water every month?
Water is a particular concern in Florida. Most people who live in Florida drink water from something called the Floridan aquifer. And that aquifer has been steadily dropping over the years. Up in the villages, it's dropped more than 10 feet. They're huge water users. The villages may actually be the single biggest water user in Lake County. I'd have to go back and look at the numbers, but they're certainly among the top several water users. And the result has been that they've got sinkhole problems up there. And of course, people up there don't like to talk about that. And they also kind of go, well, that could be caused by this or that. Well, no, it really can't. It's caused by the water table dropping underneath the earth and pulling the soil down with it. And at some point, it's got to stop. At some point, I would think it's just going to be a head-to-head kind of fight. I don't think people here have the stomach for it yet. Because the villages pretty much pounds it into every community here. We're doing you a big damn favor. Now, I don't see it that way, but I think there's enough pressure over how wonderful the villages has been for this community to make speaking about it kind of traitorous.
For my own curiosity, how did we get in this situation when Marion County shut them down, Lake County finally shut them down? They shut them down. I mean, who shut them down? The residents by doing what we're about to do, or did the commissioners just say, no, you're not doing this no more? What did they do that we can learn from to help us? You're saying nobody's brainstorming, but let's brainstorm.
If all the villages vote together, which I understand they do generally, we may not have enough votes in the rest of the county to counteract that. If that's the case, then even if every one of us voted against whatever they have coming up, we couldn't undo it, and we couldn't stop it.
If you're thinking division, there's them and there's us, that won't work. Because there's a lot of thems and us, wherever you live, that have different sides of position. So we really do need everybody, no matter what zip code and whatnot. When we can bring back representation so that that district person who gets elected is subject to how you feel and how you feel and how you feel, then we'll get somewhere. Then we'll have our government back, and it'll be the first steps towards that.
I don't know if you guys know what Stewart Ranch is, and there's an issue where Wildwood is trying to annex all the way down towards Center Hill. It's some property that directly affects our water and the way that water is filtered in the area. So we've been trying to get signatures on a petition to stop the annexation of that. There are people who are talking to large landowners, trying to convince them to not sell their land. There's all kinds of stuff that's happening. People are working against this, so it's not just us in this room.
I think there's people over there that live in the villages that are thinking the same way we are.
I'm from the village. And my impression is not that a bunch of the villagers are against you. I think most of the villagers don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's an educational subject, is it not?
Hey, you know what else you can do every day in the villages? You can take in an open house. Carmen Becker is there to show you a brand new 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom row veranda at just $350,185.
We only get one body. Let Reinvent Me maintain it. Reinvent Me Plastic Surgery and Aesthetics can help you with everything from facelifts, eyelid lifts to tummy tucks, double chin, and laser hair removal.
A timely assessment on where the market goes from here, also free. If you have $500,000 or more to invest, you can achieve your investment goals without becoming your own worst enemy. Call 1-800-388-5522.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier, softer, weaker? Get ageless male with ingredients that promote free testosterone, muscle.
Are looks important in the villages?
Definitely, appearance is important. Absolutely. I remember putting my makeup on and saying, "Man, this getting tougher and tougher to look good, you know." So I got in touch with a plastic surgeon that has a good reputation, and I had a rather extensive job, and it was a tough surgery. It really was. It was very painful. I mean, I had drugs, but I mean, it was still very uncomfortable, very painful. It took, I would say, 4 months for me to actually feel good. I only went in for bags and my neck, and once he had me on the table, he did the upper lid, the lower lid, the bags, the bottom, the neck, holy cow. I came out of there, I mean, I was like a mummy. It was really something. But I'm happy with it. I think he did a fine job. And I don't have to tell people how old I am, and I don't. So don't ask me. I didn't have all that done so I can tell them how old I am. But you would be surprised. Stepped from the shower and got a good look at myself. Pot-belly, bald head, thought I was someone else. Oh, I caught my reflection in the mirror on the back of the bathroom door. And honey, I just don't look good naked anymore. I went to the doctor for my annual exam. I was standing in the buff when suddenly she said, "Dan." I said, "What is it, Doc? Some fatal disease? Honey, I gotta know the score." She said, "No, you just don't look good naked anymore." Oodle-ay, oodle-oh, oodle-ay. That's my song. That's it.
Is there anything that you find hard about getting older?
Watching, well, me, because I'm so healthy, watching my friends age, and which we all do, of course, but some age better than others, and some get sick and die. Betty Davis said, old age, you gotta be strong. Yeah, it's not for, she said, old age isn't for wimps. She's right. Yeah. One thing you might find, or I find interesting, is that the ambulances, once they go through that gate, they turn off their sirens. And so they come through, they're quiet. Otherwise, I suppose they'd be going off all day, you know? I say, oh God, who's going now?
Are you yourself afraid of dying?
No. No, not really.
Do you worry about John dying?
Yeah. Can't do anything about it. Except give him a hard time the whole time he's still here. and it does bother me. He talks a lot about this pain and that pain and another pain, you know, and it does bother me because I know that's part of the process. So don't talk about it.
In fact, I look at my cul-de-sac. I lost that couple, her husband, her mother, both of them. They're all right. Next door, she lost her husband last year. Next door, he's on his way. Sad. And when I first moved here, anything I had a question about, David, I'd called, he'd come running over. And his wife never got upset. She always, it was always fine, you know. She was neat, or is neat. But now he's on his way, and it's sad. I taught him how to golf.
Lake to be filming tonight?
We do.
All right, you have something in writing?
Yep. From Derek, he and the Lady Lake police chief, as well as Chris, the town manager.
I got no problem with you being here. We just have to follow rules. And this is private property, and
Right.
it's not the city of Lady Lake. This is a CDD. It's the Villages Incorporated.
This community here is the fastest growing community probably in the U.S. now. They're Republicans. This is the biggest voting bloc here. As far as when we have elections, the Villages, that's the biggest voting bloc. And before, when Bush was president, the Villages was his biggest contributor to his campaign, President Bush. So, you know, they have a lot of clout when it comes to political views. We used to be predominantly Democrats, and then we got where we couldn't vote for everything, so we changed our party affiliation to Republicans, and I'm very happy I have, by the way. This was just a letter or a picture with President Trump and Melania thanking me for my support. And then this one was for another support to the Republican Party, and that was when he was elected. And she's a beautiful first lady.
Can you
She's
read
probably,
what it says?
Pardon? Sure. It says, Melania and I are grateful for your loyal support and steadfast commitment to the Republican National Committee. Working together, we can achieve our positive vision to make America great again. And it does bring tears to my eyes. And then
What makes you tear up about that?
Because I'm very proud of my country.
Not surprisingly, the farthest out claim came from young pioneer Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, criticizing Congresswoman Omar, she says, is a de facto death threat.
Oh,
We're getting to a level where this is an incitement of violence against progressive women of color. And if they can't figure out how to get it back to policy, we need to call it out.
It's so hard to watch the news today and really have a good perspective of what really is going on, because it's so biased one way. ABC, NBC, CBS, they kind of present themselves as presenting the news, but it's not. It's very biased in what they select to say, what they select not to say. And you know, it's very unfair to the country that the people can't get fair, objective reporting and see both sides of an issue without having to dig for it. I mean, you just can't hardly believe anything that you hear on the news anymore.
Do you worry about the future of your country?
Yes, absolutely. I'm very concerned about it. It's just not headed in a direction I think is going to have a happy ending. I don't know how else to say it. It's not headed in a good direction. I mean, you read a number of books that say the country has never been as divided as this since before the Civil War.
Hey, Billy.
How's it going?
All right, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Man, it's a hot one today, isn't it?
I know it is.
Good God. getting through, Billy?
Oh, yeah.
Stop for a minute.
Thank you.
Let me take a break. Let me dig.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're doing good now, Billy. I think we're there, man.
Yeah, I know we are.
Ready?
So that piece of land, it is owned by the villagers, right? Yeah. So what is your hope there? Because it already belongs to them.
Well, yeah, I think you can do anything you want with your land within that menu, agriculture menu. That means you can run cows. You can plant corn, you can plant whatever you want on that land as agriculture. But to rezone it to developable land is that's my goal, to stop that. Go by the comprehensive plan. Don't change it all the time to accommodate endless development.
Aren't you scared to piss the villagers off?
No, I don't know what they can do to me. They might try to scare you. Yeah, and I'm sure they scared some people, yes.
I wish I could have personally told you my story, but I feel I must remain anonymous to protect my family and myself from such a politically powerful entity as the villages. Village residents have no idea of the damage this development has done to the environment and the culture of area residents. They believe that nothing was here before they came. They believe they did us a service by bringing us low-paying service jobs to our area. Nothing could be further from the truth. Many or most locals, as they call us, will be displaced by villages' expansion. Families such as mine will be forced to move. What is ironic is that many villagers moved here to get a taste of old Florida. The very thing they sought to leave behind is the thing they've created again, and the very thing they desire to have is the very thing they've destroyed. Our greatest loss is that we have lost the place we call home. We have lost neighbors we have come to love. We have lost our past and our present, and our futures are no longer ours to control. This is what the villages have done to our community.
And he's right on target. This is what many people in Sumter County feel and maybe can't put into words.
Because this is really what they have done. They have taken everything. We're gonna be out of water before it's over with.
I don't know if they'd treat us like we would like to be treated and like we would like to treat them, it would be a lot different. But they think they are above us. They have more than we do. And so that's just the problem.
I'm in my 70s now, and I imagine I'm going to be here, till God calls me home. But I enjoy every minute that I'm here, and I do venture out back to civilization and can't wait to get back here because this to me really is home. This earth, this greenery is, you can't replace it. You just can't replace it.
Friends of mine who live outside the villages say it isn't so far to get to the villages anymore, to get the villages coming in their backyard. Yeah, it's amazing what they're doing. It started just expanding. I remember I could go to the square and I knew maybe half the people. Now, if I see one or two I know, it's just getting so big. Actually, I like the idea that they're building. Oh. I like it. Why not? You know, it's a wonderful community. Why should I want to keep it to myself?
When I ask people who are not from here what was here before the villages came, they all say nothing.
For me, as a child, growing up in Orlando, which is about 50 miles away, we used to come here and hunt in the swamps. So I kind of watched it grow up as a kid as it developed to what it is today. And I used to go tip cows on the road outside almost to Disney because a friend of ours had a farm out there. And we'd go out at night and tip the cows over when they're sleeping. That's what kids do. But I mean, and that's right where Disney is now. So you look at it and you say, they made money, the family, when they sold their farm. Did they want to sell it? Probably not, but they probably were compensated for it, and they didn't have to sell it. So I don't know that if somebody really had a homestead where the villages is coming, would they have to sell? Could they be corned off to keep their own compound and the villages go around it?
I expect there's high pressure. But the story's as old as time. You can feel bad for it, and it would definitely be a shame, and I'm sure if it were happening to me, I would be very upset about it. But I don't know how you stop that. Again, it's nothing new. It's not the villages. It's how capitalism works.
One, two, three.
It really strikes at the core of how Americans think. I mean, America is very invested in the idea that if you work hard, you get a reward. And so lots of times, if you talk to these folks, the first thing out of their mouth will be, I worked my whole life to be able to have fun when I retire and to enjoy my retirement. And I think that's almost a universal answer from residents at the villages. They feel they've done their bit. It's up to you people outside the bubble to keep an eye on democracy and keep things rolling. And we're just gonna be over here playing our third game of golf this week. They really feel entitled to let go.
Sadly, you're right. I'm thinking, done. I'm afraid to say I'm one of those people, and maybe there is some cause for concern there. Won't affect me in my lifetime. I think the 40-year-olds should be worried about it.
But that's an interesting perspective, because that's something I've not really thought about.
I haven't either, and now I'm gonna have to. I was rocking along, all nice and selfish, you know. You work all your lives, and you're doing, and now it's like, oh, my time, and look what you've done.
I'm just glad to be this age. Just glad that we've come this far.
We've seen a lot, we've done a lot, and we've got a lot more we would like to do, and we're working towards that goal.
I remember years ago, Grandma and Grandpa, they stayed home. They watered the lawn. They may do some weeding. They did the cooking on Sunday, and they got the respect of the family. And they sat and looked out the window and watched the neighborhood. But my generation now, we don't want to do that. We want to live our life to the end. We don't want to retire and sit there and die in 5 years from boredom. We want to enjoy life till we can't, till we die. And that's what we want, and that's what we're doing here.
Bye.